Alright. Welcome to part 2. Go ahead and get on out of here and grab my keys. Oh, I've got them. Because gosh forbid I leave the keys in the car and try and lock it. It starts going beep really loud. And just to add to this, pet peeve is when you go to wash the car and running your hand over the sensors. So we're here to talk about this today. And the changes I've made since the first video I recorded. She's looking clean. She's looking clean. Looking dark in the video, but she's clean. I guess I ought to turn it so it's more in the light. Hushy hush. There. Oh, this is one thing that annoys me, is when you turn the car off, you gotta, to get it to stop beeping, you gotta lock it. But you don't want your car locked, so you unlock it. Or open the driver door and close the driver door also works. And so the mirrors go in, the mirrors go out. It's kind of annoying. I'd say that's one of my top 10 pet peeves about the car. Showing you the walk around and talk about the different things that have changed. Beginning with the front air inlet ducts. I opened these up as well as replaced the air inlet duct with the 24-year model variant. I also added the aluminum foil tape inside behind where the inlet duct is, as well as replaced the subframe bolts. These were all, again, 24-year model upgrades. And I'm just gonna, as I make this video, I'm gonna talk about my opinions, and I don't confidently can say I don't think it made any performance handling difference. Zero. If anything, it made it worse. I'm pointing the camera in the sun. That's my opinion. I honestly think it made a negative impact on the handling. That's just my opinion. Let me know yours down in the comments. But I did it anyway. I had to. Felt like I had to. So okay, moving forward. You all may know I changed out all of the interior lights so that they're ice blue, and I'm done. I'm finally done. Every LED in the car has been changed. At this time, there's only 2 GR Corollas that have all ice blue. One that has a combination of dark blue and ice blue. So, but mine is all ice blue. I went ahead and changed everything, so everything's ice blue. And I'm very happy. I'm so happy, you guys, that I did that. It's amazing. Every time I get in this car at night, it's just like, yeah, buddy, this is it. This is cool. It's my thing. I went ahead and added the Tom's kick door protector thingies. I'm gonna go ahead and review them, and they're great. I think the material is great. There's a little bit of adhesive sticking off the edge here. I might have to come in and trim that up. Just a little bit of overhang with the adhesive. Not sure if that was due to how I applied this. That could just be me. Of course, there's an airplane flying overhead. But I made a modifications to it, and that is I cut the area out for the speaker, because I read in the manual that it might distort the sound quality. And I mean, anyone knows if you put something in front of a speaker, which there already is here, it's from factory that way, but this would have just added another layer of areas that would have ultimately been preventing the sound from coming through, and I didn't want to take the chance. Because here's the thing, guys, these things, I don't know, I'll have to put the price up here on the screen, cost a lot of money, and I had to wait 6 months to get them, because despite them having one left in stock, they actually didn't. They had 0. And so I had to actually reach out to over email and say, hey, what happened? Did you guys forget about me? And I finally got a response, and they sent them to me eventually. So it took a long time for me to get those, and you can't reapply them. So if you find out that the sound is not good, you got to redo it. And so I mean, you could try cutting it on there, but I wouldn't advise doing that. So, and I didn't like how it said Tom's on it. I mean, I get it, that's their product, they can put their name on it, but a lot of us car enthusiasts don't like when there's all these different names all over the car. I mean, some of us just like that OEM plus look, and that to me is part of that requirement, is keeping everything clean. Anyway, so that's kind of my review on the Tom's kick door protectors for those who like to kick their doors like a cowboy when they come stepping out of their car. That's me. So here's another one right here. So I added, and this doesn't, I know this doesn't match. I have to, so this panel came off of I think like a 2019 year model Corolla GR, or they didn't have GRs, but just a regular, it came off the 2019 Corolla. And in that year, they actually had a place for 7 buttons, whereas the GR Corolla only has 6 buttons. So the panel is the same, and it allows you to add 1 additional button. Here, but the 2019, you could have 7, which is nice, because if you want to have like what I did, a designated switch for underglow. So that's the next thing I'm going to talk about. So I did a custom DIY underglow and projected side glow, which I'll post photos up here in just a second. So you guys can see what that looks like at night. I've also installed a custom circuit that utilizes an Arduino with some relays that's fuse tapped. I have them unplugged right now. That's why you can see that red wire down there. Into the accessory power, or sorry, into the ignition power. So this circuit's only on when the car is on, which is nice. It's not gonna cause any sort of, I think what's called parasitic drain on the battery. So that's a plus. And if I do want to just have the car off and have the lights on, I could just turn the accessory on and the car will shut off in an hour, which I can choose yes or no to, until the battery were to die. Now, if I wanted to, I could still add, and I bought one, I could add one of those low voltage cutoffs. So if I did want to have the car off and have the lights on for a period of time, that way I didn't have to listen to this thing, you know, run while the lights are on, but not have to worry about my battery, I could have that little inline cutoff just right here in the dash, in line with it, and so I don't have to worry about that. Actually, I might do that. What else? So I'm not going to get into it too much, but I basically have 6 modes I can control with that one moment. It's actually a momentary switch, and so I have it set up so I can push and hold for 2 seconds to turn it on, and I get a status light indicator, which I changed to also be ice blue to match the rest of the car. The backlit switch that says LED is tied into the auto on IMT power for that backlight, for that switch. So I didn't have to modify the factory harness, if that makes sense. So now I have a dimmable, custom, momentary LED button that, when momentarily pressed after it's been turned on, can change between 6 different modes. And within those modes, I can control whether I want to just have the underglow with a given color, or if I want to do a combination of partial underglow with the side projected glow, or just do the side glow. So, and I've actually tuned the color and only turned on partial of the underglow to match the side glow, so that I can run both of those on one mode. And so I've got it set up. I did all the programming with ChatGPT and Arduino. It's an Arduino Nano. It's real basic, which was pretty cool. I wanted to kind of prove that you could do something like that, and you can. So that's it for the, oh, and then it's press and hold for 2 seconds to turn off. There goes the Mustang. Or no, that's a Dodge Charger. He's way over there. I don't know if you can see him. Cruising on out. Moving forward. So I got myself an EcuTech, or ECU Tech, however you want to say it. And I had Nemtech help me get it tuned. I haven't gone back to have it dynoed again since the first time. Oh, that's right, I've had the car dynoed. I've had it baselined. So the car was baselined at 245 stock. That's wheel horsepower, and then I put a cold air intake. All right, this is where it gets fun right here. It's getting a little dark, I guess. Ah, man, this thing does get heat soaked. Woo, it's hot under here. So we went with the Forge Motorsports. I really like their design, and it sounds awesome. However, I had to trim this piece, which I wasn't a huge fan of. You can see here, I trimmed way too much here. I mean, you can't really go too wrong with it, but you see, you get the point. I could have made my lines a little closer or whatever. Yes, I know I have to address this piece with some new adhesive, because I've had to put this on here more than once, and right now I've got it held on with some sticky tape, because this air intake was not designed for the Toyota Corolla GR. It was designed for the Yaris. And whoever at Forge Motorsports made the decision to say, hey, yeah, it'll work on the GR Corolla as well. So here's the deal with the Forge Motorsports cold air intake. I may be the first person to have a video on it, but I'm gonna talk to you about it today, and kind of my review of it. I think the performance is great. I gained 15 wheel horsepower just from the cold air intake. And that, to me, that's a pretty respectable number. I don't know what you guys are getting, if you even baselined your cars before you put it on there. The same day I had the car baselined, after I did 4 pulls, we just baseline, it was 245, and then we added the cold air intake while I was still on the dyno, and then did another 4 pulls before we decided it had adapted and adjusted itself to the new cold air intake, which we saw a gain, and then we followed by another gain, and then it leveled off at that new 15 plus. So here's the deal. So when I left there, I didn't trim this piece while I was there, because I was gonna wait, because you gotta take this home into your house with a Dremel tool, mark, you know, take a lot of measurements. It's a pain in the butt, you guys. And it probably wouldn't have been so bad if I had a template so that I could just kind of lay over it and mark it. No, you had to do all the measurements yourself, sit there with a Dremel tool, and if you're really OCD, you'll spend a lot of time cutting this piece to make it fit. Going and back, you know, and I live upstairs, so I had to I do some work because it was so hot outside, or if it was nighttime, you get eaten alive by mosquitoes here in Southeast Texas. So it was a lot of back and forth, trial and error. It's like, man, this is a pain. But wait, there's more. All right. So this is the requested video showing the Forge Motorsports cold air intake. Let's see if I can adjust my exposure here. So this is where the hole for the chassis is here, and this is where the hole for the bracket is. If I look straight down, you can see about how far it is off. And right now, the duct, I don't know what you want to call it, the little tab that sits down in the hole, which is actually a rectangle for the car that this product was originally designed for. This is a photo directly out of their documentation. So just a couple things here real quick. I'm gonna pause the video. To be clear, when the duct is in the hole and is aligned with the airbox, or relative to the airbox, sitting at its lowest point, the hood still hits it. The Forge Motorsports tried to argue that it was because I had layers of sticky tape that was keeping it higher. That's incorrect. The reason for using multiple layers of sticky tape was to fill the gap between the bracket and the frame. Because the GR Corolla has I guess a countersunk area on its cross frame right there. So it does sit lower than the bracket can reach on the Z-axis. Underneath, it's sitting in the hole. So it's, and if you look from the front, it's gotta be out. Yeah, it's definitely in there. More or less straight with the box. If I was to pull this over, that would have to come out of that hole, move over, and then I could put a fastener in there. But now, I mean, I can't really move it a whole lot right now because I got sticky tape, layers of it, sort of fixing it right there. But I would have to move it, and it would not, well, aesthetically it wouldn't look quite right because it's cocked over to one side, and obviously it's gonna sit higher because it's not in that hole anymore. And you can see here, this is where the hood, I think it's hitting somewhere like, yeah, right here. You can see the mark where it's been rubbing on the cold air intake. So yeah, that's ugly. And whoever at Forge Motorsports made the decision to say, hey, yeah, it'll work on the GR Corolla as well, I say personally, shame on Forge Motorsports for releasing a product and claiming it's compatible when clearly it still needed work. Which is a prime example of rushing something to market. All right, well, moving on, one of the more enjoyable mods, probably the most enjoyable mod that I've done to this car besides the lights, is the Racer X short shifter. The only negative thing I found when installing this product was I saw that there was a bolt that I think might have been rubbing on a rubber boot, and I need to pull my airbox out and check it to make sure, but otherwise it's great. This thing's awesome. And then I did one of the rear motor pitch mounts, and I think the performance of this is actually really good. Not too much vibration. Yeah, so we ended up going with the red. They're dirty. Even though I washed the car, I didn't wash the mud flaps. But yeah, no, we added the Rally Armor mud flaps, which I think are pretty awesome. Custom version of the fog lights where I have two color. They're gonna be yellow. I'm gonna go with ice blue for the second color. So we'll have the best of kind of both worlds. We'll have, my idea is I can have yellow for when I actually need to use fog lights, and then I can have the ice blue to match the aesthetics of the ice blue side glow and underglow. So all the lights down low on the vehicle will be ice blue, which I think is going to be great. All right, and I just wanted to throw this last change I forgot that I did in here, and that is the rear wiper blade. I went with a longer one here, and this is, I'll show on the screen which one this is. It is still it's a Denso part number, so it's like OEM but plus just a couple more inches, or maybe like I think it's 3 or 4 maybe. I think this is the 16-inch, but anyway, yeah, I changed out the wiper blade. It's really easy, gives you more coverage for cleaning the rear window, which I find is very useful. This window does get really dirty, but anyway, yep, I just wanted to throw that in here just to show you guys. I also changed the light for the license plate to be LED, so it looks and matches the rest of the car, which I think looks really great. I also installed a brighter LED cargo light, which is awesome. Well guys, that is it for this video. Apologies for it being so long, and I hope you understand my frustration towards Forge Motorsports, because that whole deal was like, I didn't really like it that much. There will be more to come. We are still working at it every day. It's like the center of my life right now. So, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Leave your questions and comments down below.
Peace.